Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I know I'm tardy. Look, I got one earring on. That tell y'all how that morning going. And I'm like, I don't even feel like going to try to figure out where the other earring at. So, hmm. Oh well, it'll be okay. Thank goodness I got my little waterfall of hair going down on this side, so it shouldn't be that bad, right? I think, yeah, I think I'll put it on at some point in time. Good morning, therapist. Good morning, Baka. Hey, film. Good morning. Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing this morning? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's so funny, therapist. I got your text message. And I probably didn't tell y'all yesterday. So today is the first day of school. You know how that morning went. You Oh, I tell you. The first day, I'm like, okay, I don't. What time the bus come? What time y'all need to get up? What time we gonna get? I gotta get y'all out the house. Oh gosh, and the teens with the high school, I got a freshman and a junior. So, good morning, film. Yeah, I said, oh gosh, let me. Okay, you know the mama duties. They call, baby. They call, and I'm like, okay. All right, we gonna make it through this morning. You think yellow is the color? I think I'll bring some sunshine to some people that don't have the sun today. And bring some of the sun from Arizona, right? So needless to say, I have loaded them up and I have sent the package off, right? It amazes me how today is the first day of school, guys, and it's a half a day. I'm like, this is just troublesome, right? By the time they get to school, they literally gonna be coming home. I'm like, where they do that at? Like, why not just have them start when y'all want them a whole full day? It makes no sense at all. But I told them, I said, well, at least y'all just go get y'all feet wet, get lost, around the campus. Especially my freshman. She ain't gonna probably know nothing about nothing. Well, hopefully her sister will be able to take her around just a little bit. But she gonna have to get to her classes. Right. It's so dumb. Like, and they get out a half a day every Wednesday. Because I guess what they consider them to be is all around school. So they only been out of school since it's been 2 months. That was their summer break, like 2 months. So, but I'm glad. I was like, I don't know. That sounds like this is a holiday today, at least a half of a holiday. They can go to school, right? And they get 2 meals a day. My refrigerator doesn't have to be raided all day. I think today is a vacation day, a half a vacation day for mommy. It's starting off. I'm gonna take it. And it was like, oh yeah, y'all getting out of here. I don't know where you go, but you can't stay here. That was my MO this morning. hmm But yeah, I got them. They are off, and hopefully they'll have an awesome first day, which I'm sure they will. Let me see. Hey, pretty brown girl, how are you? Yeah, when I first moved to Arizona, yeah, a lot of the most of the schools have all year round school, but they be having them where they like only doing half a days and partial days, and they get like 2 week break in the fall, then they get 2 weeks break in during Christmas time, and then they get another 2 weeks in the spring, and then they're out of school. So special, but it is what it is, I guess. Mm, no, no, no. I'm trying to see what is this doing here. This inside me out of all my little accounts here. Yeah, just continue, please. God, let's exit out of here. It's like trying to make me use Google, and I really don't want to use Google. Not at this time, anyways. So I guess y'all ready for these shenanigans that we got going on today. We gonna be playing a little musical chairs. I'm pretty sure all of you guys know. So the Kohlberger hearing is at 8 o'clock, quote unquote. So I know that we are going to watch some of our boy DB so we can get all our grounds together, get our coffee in, get our objections, all that stuff out the way, right? And then I got I'm monitoring the Kohlberger case so I can kind of see exactly when they start over there, and then we'll kind of move over to the Kohlberger case. And then I'm looking at him when he hiding himself with these fork boxes. Oh gosh, I can't deal with him. And then once we I put the thing out for the Ali trial. I did that about 10:30. I did it at 10:30, but I'll kind of monitor and kind of see what they're doing over there at Court TV as we're listening to kind of see how they're providing a feed, and we'll kind of take that as we go. But it looks like they are going to have a feed in there, so it don't appear that they got completely kicked out. So that's a good thing. So I'm hoping that stays the way it is. And we have this going on. Let's see. Let me see. What is he doing here? Oh gosh, he's so silly. I mean, it's so hard, with him. It's so hard. We don't even get the testimony. It takes us forever to get to testimony with him. I mean, forever. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get us into his. This is day 4. From what I can, yeah, it's day 4. I'm just trying to make sure it's day 4. Did he wear the same gray suit every day? Good morning, Fowler.
Direct Your Honor to a case United States versus Cotton 535.
Mr. Brooks, if you have a motion, you need to put it in writing and then.
Let me see what day 5 looked like, because I can't remember if he wore the same suit every day. No, he didn't. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe we didn't did 4. Shoot. I wish they would have put like part 1 and part 2.
Attorney Opera.
Wait a minute. No, he is wearing his gray suit every day. Yeah, we're at day 4.
As soon as you are there, I will have the jury brought out.
Oh, okay. Now that looks better.
Darrell E. Brooks, case number 21 CF 1848. May
Okay, I got it now. I'm like, all these look so much the same, but I'm so glad that they were able to. I see where they put in the caption, like after lunch break. Reading is very fundamental, right? If you read, Sweet Pea, you will definitely be successful. So all I had to do is read instead of going back and forth trying to figure out which one morning, which one afternoon. So we'll go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and start playing this so we can get what we can in. In the meantime, I am gonna pull up the rest of the courtroom thing so we can I can kind of monitor everything. I didn't even think that the Brian one, I didn't think that one was gonna start at 8. Like I got some alerts that say 6 a.m. and then I got some that say 8. But I'm assuming the 6 a.m. coverage is just like them opening up their live feed in their chat room. I think that was with law and crime. So we'll keep it monitored. I'll keep it up. And I guess whenever we have to jump, we'll be playing musical chairs with our court stuff today. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and play this. We'll play this.
have the appearances, please.
Yes, good morning, Judge Sue Apper, Leslie Basie, and Zach Witchow appearing for the state of Wisconsin.
Good morning, sir. Please state your name for the record.
I'm here as a third-party intervener in that matter, appearing as authorized representative for my client. I accept for value or in turn for value all of the charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption available for discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case. I do not dispute any of the facts in these charging instruments, and I do not consent to or agree to being called that name.
All right, the record should reflect that the individual known to this court as Darrell Brooks is appearing in person in custody. He is also in civilian or street clothing, in a suit and tie, also wearing a mask. Mr. Brooks, I know today you're also not wearing headsets. I just want to make a record. Yesterday, they were offered to you, even charged. The different charging unit was provided. I did not see you wearing the headset at any point in time. And from my perspective, given your either legal arguments made, comments to the court, or questioning of witnesses that you were able to hear. But I just feel it important, given that you raised that issue, to put that on the record. I do want to address the case law that was filed by Mr. Brooks. I have a question, sir, because you had indicated there was this United States v. Lopez. I had looked up a case. I don't know if it's the one that you were referring to. I asked you if it was from 1995. You thought it was. Have you been able to look through your documents to tell me which United States versus Lopez you were referring?
I have not, but I also cited Hagens versus Levine as well, 415 US 533, or I think you may have corrected
I was
that.
able to find Hagens versus Levine and Malo versus United States. I also found a case that is captioned United States versus Lopez at 514 US 549. That's a case from, it was decided in 1995. It had to do with in part, with the,
Jurisdiction.
no, it had to do with a provision in the federal statutes regarding the gun safe free zone and whether that was constitutional or not. It was a criminal case, but nonetheless, that was one of the major issues in that case. So I don't know if that's the case you were referring or not. And without a citation, it's hard for me to know. So that's why I'm asking you if you have any other information about that case.
I can possibly look on a break, but my understanding of that particular case was dealing with the specifics of subject matter and personal jurisdiction, which is why it was brought up for the record, which is something that I have been doing adamantly, is asking for the court to provide verified proof of jurisdiction, which I have not been provided with as of yet.
Court's not required to do that, sir. I understand what your objection is. It's been noted for the record multiple times. And the previous rulings of the court stand. I see no reason to revisit those issues, or what we call legally a motion for reconsideration, even if I were to take your reference to these cases as a request to reconsider based on a new legal argument. The cases that I reviewed don't support that. I do want to give the state an opportunity.
Film, thank you so very much. Now you say hoping for a good day today. I think we're gonna be busy. Would that classify as a good day? Busy bees? Because I definitely think we're gonna be busy. Well, we're gonna make it a good day, right? I was thinking to myself this morning, I said, dude, is this gonna be a wild Wednesday, a wicked Wednesday, a WTF Wednesday? Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Well, we gonna definitely see. We gonna make it a good one. And Core TV is gonna be on their best behavior. Watch your mouth Wednesday, right? I like that one. Wow, Wednesday. I think we probably could do a combination. I guess we'll take it as we go, depending on which ride we on, because it seemed like we might be on a roller coaster ride today. And I'm just really like hoping that we have everything together with this feed today. But like I said, we gonna have TiVo time, so we should be good. That's because we have other things that we can watch. So We should be good. It's just gonna be playing around with a lot of stuff. Okay. Thank you so much again, Phil.
Need to at least make a record as to their position, and then I'll give you the last word if you want to make a legal argument to the contrary.
I do.
All right, so go ahead. I believe Attorney Basie, you were going to do that.
I was. Your Honor, I did review the U.S. versus Lopez, the Lopez case that you cited at 514 U.S. 549. As the court already indicated, it deals with the Gun-Free School Zone Act, which is a federal offense. The court found that Congress exceeded its authority under the Commerce Clause, and therefore there was no jurisdiction. I don't find any analogy between that case and this case. Again, I'm not sure if that is the Lopez case that the defendant was referring to. With regard to Malo versus United States, this was a case involving an accident that the plaintiff had with an employee of the U.S. Postal Service who was driving a U.S. postal truck, and the issue became whether or not there was a valid claim against the U.S. Postal Service as a result of a claim filed against the employee, and the court held that there was not, and therefore jurisdiction was not conferred to the United States. Again, not a case that is on point with any issue that's been raised in this case. And finally, Hagens versus Levine at 415 U.S. 533. Again, this is one in which the district court was found to have had jurisdiction to hear the plaintiff's claim. It was a case in which a New York, state of New York regulation addressed New York's ability to recoup some payments from AFDC, I believe. And there was a claim that violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. The court did find that the district court did have jurisdiction to hear the plaintiff's claim. Again, I did not find any verbiage from any of these three cases that would raise any type of argument in this case that this court does not have jurisdiction to hear this case.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Your response.
Yeah, I respectfully object to that. It's clear in both of those cases that ultimately those cases were called correct by the Supreme Court, and that both cases ended up being voided because there was no jurisdiction. Same thing in this case. How it applies is this court has yet to prove that it has jurisdiction. It has not been proven. There's been no certified document paperwork. There's been no proof. There's been no response to the demand for the statement of particulars. There's been no response to, we haven't even established that the plaintiff is a living human being and not an entity. There's so many things that have yet to even be proven. And again, if both cases that were just cited were voided by the Supreme Court for lack of jurisdiction, how is this case any different?
Thank you for your argument, sir. First of all, the Hagens and the Malo decisions, or Malo, these were civil lawsuits. They weren't criminal cases at all. They dealt with the issue of a federal question or federal claims and jurisdiction in the district court for those particular cases. There's nothing that's applicable to a criminal case in state court for this court to even find they're relevant. They may be case law, maybe law as it relates to that, but they're not relevant to the proceedings in this case. In the Malo decision, for example, that had to do with a lack of jurisdiction because the plaintiff had failed to exhaust administrative remedies. That's not something that's applicable here. And so in that case, the court did not have jurisdiction. In the Hagens case, again, it had to do with a federal claim and jurisdiction related to that. and not criminal charges brought by a state against a individual. The Lopez decision, while a criminal case, dealt with a federal law and whether the district court had jurisdiction. In Lopez, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down a federal statute that had made an offense criminal, and because of that, there was no jurisdiction. There have been no similar arguments made in this case at all. The arguments that you raise related to the Bill of Particulars, related to those types of issues have all been debunked throughout the ages in the courts of the United States of America, both in state court and in federal court. And I direct your attention once again to United States versus Beneby, 654 F. 3rd 753. It's a 2011 decision from the Seventh Circuit that is very on point as to the arguments that you are raising. So there's no requirement for this court to do what you are asking or demanding it to do. And for all of those reasons, this court will deny your request to dismiss, deny your request for the demand for particulars, even going back to one of the filings from the 3rd, dealing with your demand for a verified statement, your notice of special appearance. I mean, all of those things have been noted on the record, but to the extent that the court needs to respond to any of those, once again, your demands and requests and objections are either overruled or denied, as the case may be.
Your Honor, may I respectfully request a legal reconsideration for your ruling?
No, I just went through my reasoning, sir. So without you meeting the standard under a motion for reconsideration under section 806.07, that request is summarily denied without any further argument. All right, with that.
For the record, may I request a legal or factual basis for your ruling as you just cited, Your Honor?
I just provided the legal basis, sir.
You just cited a case law from United States versus Beneby, correct?
My reasoning stands. The record before you and on the record speaks for itself. I'm not going to address this any further. Your objections are noted.
Respectfully, Your Honor, may I ask for a written judicial finding of facts and conclusion of law on this matter?
You may request. That request is denied.
For the record, may I respectfully move for an interlocutory declaratory appeal on this matter, Your Honor?
That is not an issue this court would address. That would be for an appellate court, sir.
For the record, may I move to stay these proceedings until this instant matter is adjudicated by a court of competent jurisdiction?
That request is denied. This is a court of competent jurisdiction.
Based
and we
on
will
what?
proceed.
Based on what law or fact, Your Honor?
All right, Mr. Brooks, your objections are noted. I want to keep moving forward today.
May I respectfully object to that, Your Honor, based on the fact that you cited something that was a federal law. And then the cases that you went over in the challenge of jurisdiction were all dealing with federal guidelines.
This court's not going to explain the law to you, sir. I've cited the law, but I just direct you to those decisions. I believe they speak for themselves, and your request for any further articulation by this court as to the basis for the court's decision is denied.
May I respectfully object, Your Honor, and still ask for verified proof of.
Mr. Brooks, I've already addressed that. The request is denied. All right, moving on. Can the state, I'm moving on, Mr. Brooks. Thank you. Your objections are noted. Attorney Opper, I'd like to address the issue.
Object, Your Honor.
Your objections noted. I would like to address the issue of the subpoenas that were turned over to the state. If you could just make a record on that.
Yes, thank you. We have received the subpoenas that were provided by Mr. Brooks. I believe there were 12 in total. We are endeavoring to have all the individuals properly served, and we will assist in arranging their appearance here in the courtroom at the appropriate time, with the exception of that one individual who we believe has relocated to the state of Texas. There are no other concerns that the state has at this point in getting those subpoenas served and getting these people here. I do want to advise the court that one of the witnesses on Mr. Brooks' subpoena list does need a Spanish interpreter. And that also reminds me to update the court on our progress in that regard. For the state's case, we believe if we would need a Spanish interpreter, and it's still unknown to us, or uncertain, I should say, it'd be later tomorrow morning, like probably after the morning break or even after lunch. We could call these witnesses out of order if we had to. So if you want to just say possibly 1 p.m. tomorrow, we could certainly work around that. And then when we get to Mr. Brooks' case, one of his witnesses will need an interpreter as well. We'll try and help the court keep track of that as well.
Have you been in contact with the individual at the clerk's office that assists with making arrangements for the interpreter, since it is the court's responsibility to do that, but it's your request?
I know my assistant had spoken to someone in the clerk's office. I think it was last week. I don't know if there's been any recent contact, but I will ask her to do that today.
Well, I know I saw one of our interpreters yesterday, and I don't know if that's because of those arrangements or not. And I don't see that person here today, but.
Yeah, I saw him also. I think he just came in to observe for a while.
Okay. Can you tell me the name of the witness for Mr. Brooks that needs an interpreter?
Juan Marquez, Marquez.
And this, can you just give me a little bit more background? What I'm contemplating is, because I need to make arrangements for the interpreter, is perhaps we could have that person brought the same time the other witness needs an interpreter, and do those witnesses, depending on how long they take, it may or may not be back to back, but maybe there'd be a witness in between, just for court efficiency and to make sure we have an interpreter available.
Yes, I understand, and we could potentially call him out of order. He is in the group with the same group that we would need Spanish interpreters for. That would be the Catholic community of Waukesha. So we're projecting to get to that testimony tomorrow morning for our case. As we sit here right now, Judge, we don't think we're going to need an interpreter, but we want to reserve that right should the need arise. And Mr. Marquez was on our witness list. However, we had made a preliminary decision that we would not be calling him as a witness. So he's generally familiar with the court proceedings, and he knows he may be called to testify. So it would be tomorrow morning, and yes, maybe we just want to say 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The interpreter's here for whatever witness needs them, and we call Mr. Marquez out of order. It wouldn't be a great switch for the jury, because we'll already have been dealing with those facts tomorrow morning.
When do you think you'll know whether you will need an interpreter? Is that for a witness or for someone in attendance?
Yeah, no, it's after our first 2 witnesses as it relates to the Catholic community. We believe we can establish all the elements we need through those witnesses. But if for some reason we could not, then we would have to call some of the Spanish-speaking people. We would be prepared to go on with other witnesses, and then we may have to circle back if need be. But we understand we want to be efficient, and we don't want to have downtime in the courtroom. So,
all right, thank you. I'm contemplating, Mr. Brooks, that since the witness you want is part of that group, and there's a possibility that they will need an interpreter, if that's the situation, then I'm going to require that Mr. Marquez be produced at that point for questioning. You'll be questioning him first, since it would be your witness, but I want to make wise use of our resource as it relates to the interpreter. It can be challenging to schedule interpreters, especially on a last minute basis. I know the clerk's office has been working with the DA's office based upon the request that was received. The latest information I have, before I get back to you, Mr. Brooks, is that Kevin from the clerk's office has made a call, but it was not returned. So perhaps you can have your assistant, that was last week, follow up just to make sure we're all on the same page.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Brooks, any questions about what I've advised you about the interpreter? Does that change your decision at all to call the witness?
It doesn't change me wanting to call the witness, and I want to state for the record that I object to being called that name. I'm a living and breathing human being. I do have questions though. You're well aware that once we went off the record yesterday, I stayed to complete all of the subpoenas.
I'm aware of that.
There were initially 13, and I believe I turned in 12 because the prosecution stated that maybe one of them had relocated, but there was just a little bit more clarification that I didn't have yesterday about that whole situation, if they relocated or how that would play into them being subpoenaed. So
Is there a question as it relates to that, or just you're
Well,
making that record?
I'm making that record, and also I wasn't sure yesterday, and maybe I should have asked before we went off the record, should I have just turned in all 13 subpoenas that I had and then just wait to see what more information could have been learned from that?
You can certainly give them the 13th subpoena, and we can make a further record later if need be. And we'll go from there. I mean, obviously, as officers of the court, they're telling me that they have this information about a witness being out of state. There's a different procedure for obtaining a witness that is from out of state, including that the person calling that witness needs to make the travel arrangements, and that's in the rules of procedure. So, but it's up to you if you want to turn that one over so that it's officially one that you turned over, given that you had been given that information and then the subpoenas needed to be refilled or filled out again. I'm certainly willing to have that turned over to them, and at a later point, a further record can be made if needed.
If in the event that takes place, would it be the same procedure, me having to stay after, or how would it work from that point? Because I would essentially say it would make more sense to just fill them out all together and file them together, so everything is just together. It makes it easier.
Fill out the one.
Just the one?
Yes. Do you need another form?
I have another form.
All right. Do you have a copy of the first time you filled it out, so you have some of that information readily at your fingertips?
I believe I do. I don't want to say I'm 100% sure. I would have to do some minimal looking through all the paperwork.
If not, I have the first batch of subpoenas on my table in my chambers, and I can bring that out.
I'm pretty sure if it's not in the paperwork that's in front of me, it's in one of these boxes, which, as you see, is a lot of paperwork. I'm positive that it's there. I would just have to.
Well, let me know when I break. Like I said, I have it readily available and certainly can give it back to you to look at. All right. What about did you hear me advise you about the interpreter and making arrangements and potentially calling your witness out of order because of that?
Yeah, I think that was pretty clear.
Okay, good. Just want you to be prepared for the possibility that tomorrow you may need to call that witness, or the witness will be made available and you may need to question that witness tomorrow. So I just want you to be prepared for that.
So that should be the first witness called?
It would be out of order. It would still be during the state's case in chief, but if we have the interpreter here, because they need it, because they're not clear yet if they need that interpreter or not. If they use the interpreter and the interpreter's here, and then I'm going to also ask that they make arrangements to have Mr. Marquez available so that the interpreter, we can wisely use the interpreter resource and call those individuals, if not back to back, within short order of one another. Sometimes we have to give the interpreter a break and a rest. So that's why it might not be back to back, but in any event, you should be prepared potentially to question that witness. If they don't call the interpreter and the interpreter's not here and we haven't made arrangements, then I'm gonna work with my staff and the clerk's office to make sure we have an interpreter during your case. You'll just need to tell me where in the 12 you want to call that person so I can better schedule.
In the 13.
Well, you have 13, but one's an out of state, so I'm told, but all right, very good. All right, anything else from the state then?
No, that was it for today, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Brooks, anything other than what we've already talked about?
Yeah, I don't know if the clerk received 2 ICF forms that I submitted.
I don't know if anything, I can check my electronic inbox. Let me just do that real quick and see if there's anything there.
Well, one of the ICFs we just addressed, that would be the one that I filled out last night, coming back from the proceedings yesterday. We just addressed that. That was dealing with the subpoenas.
Okay. All right, I don't see it. I'll make sure that my staff knows to look for it, and when we get it, it'll be uploaded, and then we can address it at a break.
The other one was dealing with asking for my court docket sheet.
What do you mean by that, sir?
I would like a certified copy of my court docket sheet.
I need to know what you mean by that, sir. There's many documents in the record. There are docket entries that are part of the electronic file.
Is the entire every court proceeding, is that part of the electronic file? What did you just say?
A recording of the proceedings?
No,
or a
no.
record?
I want the actual docket sheet from every court proceeding that I've had in dealing with this matter.
Well, you'll have to address that to the clerk of court.
I did.
Okay, so then that's why it didn't come to me and I wouldn't seen it. I'm not the custodian of the record. It's the clerk of court under the statute. So
Was it received?
I don't know, but I can find out. And on a break, we can advise. I'll direct Teresa to find out from the clerk of court if she received that. But she'll respond in due course.
It was addressed to Miss Monica Paz.
Okay, that's our clerk of court. So that's good that you did that. All right. Anything else then? Other than what we've already talked about?
No.
Okay, very well. State will have its next witness then when we bring the jury out. Okay, very well. Madam Clerk, please have the jury run out.
Gosh, guys, check that out. We have been listening to this for 30 minutes, and we just now getting to the first witness. This is like, oh my. I'm glad, I hope they have the jury reporting like late. Like they know each day they're gonna have to argue for an hour about things that Darrell doesn't know about because he wants to go to law school during the trial. Good morning, Moki. Good morning, everyone. Everybody that's just joining us. Yeah, this is like every day. Like he go back, talk to his homies. They had a recap. And then he come back with a whole nother statement or something new, trying to present it to the judge in the court. I know the state, will have to do the additional research and things because he doesn't know. Good morning, Jason. Welcome. Because he has to do this like additional research and stuff. They have to do the additional research to make sure that they can be able to counter anything that he's presenting that he didn't went and looked up. Like making them work extra hard for stuff that don't make sense. Getting all these statutes and stuff. I tell you, Mr. Brooks. And never mind, they got to go subpoena all his witnesses. They got to do all this stuff. They got to show all the exhibits for them, everything. He feeling real confident today. He almost standing with his chest poked out. You know, looking out the corner of his eye, trying to get a peek at the jury. I wish he would take that mask off. Right, the Jules? Yeah, I see that, dear Lord, guys, right? Please stop allowing these folks to represent themselves.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right, the state may call its next witness.
Thank you. The state calls Kelly Grabo.
Good morning, Ms. Grabo. If you would please make your way to the witness stand. When you get there, please remain standing and raise your right hand, and there is a step up when you get there. My clerk, Teresa, will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do. Thank you. Please be seated. First thing I will have you do is to state your first and last names for the record and spell each.
My first name is Kelly, Kelly, last name Grabo, Grabow.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Ms. Grabo, what do you do for a living?
I work at Burst Logistics as an inventory control specialist.
How long have you worked at Burris Logistics?
I had just started last year in September. It's their first year here.
Is testifying in court something that you do frequently with Burris Logistics?
No,
Are you a little bit nervous today?
yes,
I want to ask you about Sunday afternoon, November 21st of 2021, okay?
Okay.
Did you take part in the Waukesha Christmas Parade that day?
yes.
Were you a spectator, a participant? Why were you there?
I was walking with Burst Logistics, my daughter and I.
What's your daughter's name
Adelia
and her last name?
Maffioli.
How long is Adelia? Excuse me, how old is Adelia?
She's 10 now. She was 9 at the time.
She was walking with you with Burris Logistics?
Yes.
Do you remember?
Hold on. Could you please spell her name for us, please?
Adelia. Last name is Maffioli, Maffioli.
Thank you so much. Sorry for the interruption. Go
That's
ahead.
okay. Thank you, Judge. Do you remember where your group was positioned in the parade in terms of who was behind you and who was in front of you?
Yes, we were directly between the Waukesha Blazers and Waukesha South Marching Band.
Okay, so which of those two were behind you?
Waukesha South Band was behind us.
Gotcha. What were you wearing that day?
Well, my daughter was dressed up as Cindy Lou Who, and I was wearing my elf dress with candy cane leggings.
Did the parade go smoothly?
No,
Why not?
we were struck by a vehicle.
Can you describe how that happened for us?
While we're walking through, my daughter came walking over by me and she went to go get more candy to go hand out to the kids. So she walked over, grabbed candy, and as she was walking off to the side, I noticed there was a difference in the sound behind us than what I was hearing throughout. So right as she walked off to the side and I seen she walked to the side, I turned. I don't know if I turned fully or just my head. And as I turned, all I seen was the hood of a red vehicle. And I hit the red vehicle and rolled down to the side and landed directly between the Burris Logistics float and the red vehicle. And I seen the tire go directly in front of my face.
Okay. So the Burris Logistics float that you just described, what was that?
There was a black truck pulling it. We had I believe there was a snowman in the back of the black truck, and then we had the Grinch in the float.
Which side of the truck were you on when you were struck?
Of the Burris, or
Burris truck.
I was on the driver's side of the Burris.
Where was Adelia?
Adelia, when she grabbed the candy and walked off to the side, I thought she was over by the sidewalk when I spun to look.
And what did you see when you spun?
The red hood of the vehicle.
When did you next see Adelia?
After I realized what just happened, I jumped up and took off running to go find her. And I seen her in the middle of the road, which I don't know how she got to that position from where I seen her last, but she was lying in the middle of the road. And there were some people around her trying to help her. Her shoes were down the road as well as her glasses.
Your Honor, Exhibit 22 has previously been received and published. I'd ask to publish that again for this witness.
Permission granted.
And I'm sorry, maybe I wasn't clear with the jury as well. Yep, there we go. Okay, do you see the screen in front of you?
Yes, that's our float.
All right. We are going to play with audio at normal speed from the beginning until about the 26-second mark. And we paused at 27 seconds. Ms. Grabo, did you see yourself in that video?
Yes, I did.
What about Adelia? Did you see her?
With the amount of people, I did not directly see her.
Okay, let's go back to the beginning and turn the audio off. And let's go at about 50% speed.
Objection was the relevance of showing the video to us.
Overruled.
Grounds.
It's relevant.
Grounds.
And we'll play from the beginning. And let's pause right there. At 3 seconds. Do you see yourself at this 3-second mark?
Yes, I do.
Just tell us where you are in the screen.
We're directly in front of the Black Shirt Band banner. Adelia is wearing a red cape shawl with checkered, black and white checkered leggings. It was really cold and windy that day. And then I have the candy cane dress on with my jacket and a hat and candy cane leggings.
And what does it appear at this moment that you're doing with Adelia?
Giving her more candy.
Let's resume. Pause. We paused at the 19-second mark. Do you see yourself in the video at this point?
Yes, I'm lying directly between both of the vehicles.
The screen in front of you is a touch screen. Would you mind circling yourself? Your Honor, I'd ask to to save the screen of 22 and mark it as 22. I think we're on.
22 is a screen. B.
Yeah. So then 22B, this would be marked as, and I'd move that into evidence.
The screen will be captured with the annotation. It will be marked as 22B, and it will be received.
Let's resume at that point. pause. And we've paused at 24, and we can take that screen down now. What did we see you doing at the end of the video there?
I was laying between the vehicles.
Did you get up at some point?
Yes,
Okay, and then
ran directly to my daughter.
what injuries, if any, did you sustain as a result of being struck by that SUV?
I think there's like ligament damage in my knee as well as my hand. I did have some bruising and some road rash on my knees.
Were you treated at a medical facility
Waukesha Memorial Hospital.
the night of the incident?
It was way later. I went in because I rode in the ambulance with my daughter. I refused to go anywhere else besides stay with her the entire time. So I stayed with her. We rode 2 children's in the ambulance. They did check me in the ambulance and see that I was stable and okay to do what I was doing. So I stayed with my daughter at Children's Hospital, and I did not want to leave her until I knew she was at home in bed safe.
What injuries, if any, did Adelia sustain?
Massive bruising all up and down her back. She had a broken hand, road rash all on her face.
All the questions I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do you have any cross for this witness?
Yes. Before you were struck by the vehicle, you said that you heard changes in sound to the parade. That was the people marching in the parade in the back of you, right?
Yes.
Do you recall what the sounds were that you heard?
It was just a change in the tone behind me. It wasn't the Jubilee sound that we were hearing throughout the parade. You could tell something was happening behind us.
Did it seem to get louder?
Yeah,
Was it already pretty noisy with the parade going on?
it was noisy.
And you stated that it was really windy and cold that evening.
Yes, very.
Would it be any reason why you wouldn't be able to hear everything going on behind you?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't be able to hear everything behind us because I heard the change in the sound of the band. So obviously I could hear what was going on directly behind me.
The vehicle that struck you, do you recall seeing a driver?
No, I seen the red hood of the vehicle. That's all I seen.
So you didn't see the driver or anybody in the vehicle?
No, again, I just seen the red hood as it ran into me.
No license plates or?
Nope.
You recall how fast the vehicle might have been traveling when you were struck?
It had been going a decent speed. As I said before, I did see the rear tire going past my face, and it all happened extremely fast.
So you don't recall?
With the chaos that was going around that day, no, I do not remember exactly.
And you stated that after you were struck, you got up and ran to your daughter, correct?
Yes.
And you were able to do that with your leg injury?
Yes. I guess that would be the adrenaline going through your body at that moment in time. It did get.
So that's just that's me pausing it. So the Kohlberger case has started. Y'all tell me it just started. I think they may be about maybe about 5 minutes in. So y'all tell me, do y'all want to move over there and stop this? Hey, Gina. Yeah, we're going to open up another. I sent out a notification because I'm going to keep it separate from this Darrell Brooks stuff, right? We don't want to put them together. Give me a second. Let me go ahead and open up that one. One second here. Let me get the link and everything, and then I'll put it in here so that y'all can just click the link and come over. Okay, so I dropped the link. Hopefully I did this right. I think practice may make I'm gonna get good at this one day, right? Okay, it worked. I see Baka's over there, so cool. That worked. All right, guys, I'm gonna close this one up. We'll continue with Darrell Brooks. You want me to leave this one opening? I opened up a new one for Brian's trial. And then we will I guess we'll continue with Darrell Brooks probably tomorrow, because I'm assuming after whatever we're going to be doing with the BK trial, that we'll probably be going into our Ali. Okay. All right. See you guys over there.